Hi, I'm Daz, I'm the producer of Adrift, and I'm having a really bad day. And I thought it would be a good idea to let you know what a bad day I'm having today with Adrift. We don't often have them. We have bad moments, etc. And then you just pick up the pieces and you carry on. That's filmmaking. But I have to say, today has been a particularly bad day, and it's only 11:15 in the morning. So basically, what's gone on? Well, in the last couple of weeks, we've been pushing out visual effects, well, more than a couple of weeks, pushing out visual effects to more and more people, and effects are coming in. And some of them, about a week or so ago, were coming back that were from parts of the film that we're no longer using. So what's going wrong? Well, if I go back slightly and explain that when I create an edit for a movie, for a scene, that scene is going to be changed as time goes on. So it might go from a 4-minute scene down to a 3-minute scene. Now if that happens and there are visual effects in that minute that we've taken out, then obviously we don't want people to do those shots anymore because they're not going to be in the movie. And we know that, so we have a system in place, a workflow, which is partly automated and partly requires human intervention. You have to check it, to make sure that we're not giving people shots that aren't going to be used. And that system has failed, basically. And today has been trying to figure out where it's failed and how it's failed. And it's failed on both levels. It's failed on both automation and failed on checking. Now, this isn't a diary or me sounding out people or witch hunting. I don't do that kind of crap. I'm just explaining what has happened, so you guys get to see what can go wrong. So what's gone wrong then? So, okay, I create an edit for a sequence, for a scene, and in that we put a date. All our file names have dates in them anyway, so we know exactly when that scene was done, when that scene was edited. And then that basically goes into the computer, and then that computer, we have like a server, and that then synchronises with all the other Dream Team people around the country, and they get the latest. So I have to physically move those files into a special folder, and that goes off to everybody. Yay! And I've been doing that, and that takes some time as well. And then when they open up their computer, that folder then synchronises and it replaces the old project files with the new ones. Well, that hasn't been happening, basically. So that's a computer fail. The system didn't work. The automated system didn't work. Well, that kind of stuff happens. Okay, so on the other side of it, what about the human side? Well, we have meetings every Tuesday and Thursday, and we go around the bazaars with each person in the group, what we've been doing, what we've been up to. And I say, well, I've been editing the film, you know, it's getting really good, it's getting tighter, it's looking really cool. So they're all being told that the edit's being changed. The other thing that happens is I also send them copies of the scenes when they're rendered. That also goes through the automated system. And I also put them on YouTube links that are secret, so you ain't going to find them, as well, and I give them those links. So they know that the scenes, because the idea is I want them to keep watching the movie and seeing how it's changed, all that kind of thing. So they're getting told that the changes are being made, they're getting copies of the re-edited scenes sent to them, and they're being given links online, which I'm pushing out. And despite all of that, no one, arguably including me, has thought to look at the date of the changes, or if Darren's making all these changes, how come my project files are still 3 months out of date? Because that's what's happened. So what is that? Is that because people aren't looking? Well, that's another thing. Does that mean people aren't looking at the PPJs, the project files? What's the point of me pushing them out? Or is it a case that people are just so busy just working on that bit and they don't need to see that information, so I should be pushing it out in the first place? I'm wasting my own time? I don't know. That's what I've got to get my head around now to sort this out. But the reality is, it means, so for example, the last couple of weeks, I've been, putting the pressure on my visual effects supervisor to get these shots sorted out. Why are we still pushing out shots to people that aren't going to be used in the movie? And she's there working on a project file that's already 2 months out of date. That's not good. That's pretty poor, actually. But why is that? Why is that happening? And that's what we've got to look at now. Like I say, this isn't about absolutely. I've been chatting with Helen, my visual effects supervisor, and finally, I think we pulled out enough hair. I've not had a haircut, by the way. It's all been pulled out. Okay, I had long hair about 2 days ago. I've been pulling it. You want to save money, make a movie, and don't go to the hairdressers because you don't need to. Okay, because you just pull it out. And she's done the same. So I think finally now we're kind of sort of sticking it all back in again, and we've realised, had that moment. Now we've got to find out what the consequences are. So now Helen is going through the most up-to-date PPJs I've sent her directly. We're going to re-examine the workflow, find out whether it's worth using the automated system or not, because the risk potentially is too high. We need to re-emphasise to people that, Daz is telling you these things at meetings, you're telling us what we're all up to, because you're meant to be joining the dots here, boys and girls. You're meant to be figuring out, well, Daz says there's been loads of edits, then why is the edit I've got so old? Why is it dated 30th of May when now it's August? Hopefully there won't be too many changes. As a film edit goes on, it's the first first half of the production of the edit process where the biggest changes probably take place, and then you're just sort of trimming down, finding the occasional new shot. Now that's okay. If that's the consequence, then that's fine. But the next thing, of course, is then going back to all the visual effects themselves and the artists and say, well, I'm really sorry, but we haven't used any of your work, or do we tell them that at all? They still get credited, and that's absolutely the case. All the people that put shots in, if they've done 50 shots and only 3 of them go in the movie, well, they should be credited for 50 shots because they did 50 shots. If it was the real world, I know this is the real world technically, we're all real, but if this was like the industry, we'd be paying them for every shot. So if you don't use the shot, well, that's your prerogative. You still pay the people because you asked them to do the shot. So they still need to be paid. And of course, the shots they do, whether in the movie or not, they can still use them for their own show reels. So that's all good too. But what a waste! What a waste of time! A waste of effort. And what's really frustrating overall with this is that I worked so hard, and my team worked hard to not let this happen, to have checks in place. And frankly, we haven't been checking. Because if we had, then we would have seen this, and we would have picked it up, and we'd have got it sorted. And we picked it up now, finally. So I don't know what the impact's going to be. We're struggling even when things go well. Because we're a small group of people trying to make a really big film, and now we've effectively got what potentially could be a major setback in terms of pushing stuff out. And I've just got to hope that the people who are involved in the visual effects side are going to be sympathetic, because they're going to be mightily fed up if a lot of their work isn't even going to be used because we gave them duff shots. Not good. Anyway, so there we go. I'm going to go and look at these old edits now and just see what the differences are. I've got some idea of what it is that these guys have been doing that weren't needed to be done, and go from there.